boys and girls. Can you believe it? This is our last distance learning video. So for today's video, we're going to be reading Automobiles Then and Now, and then we're going to answer some questions. So I'm going to go ahead and start reading, and then we'll go ahead into the questions. The first automobile was built in France. It had 3 wheels and was powered by steam instead of gasoline. That was in 1769. It moved very slowly because it was so heavy. A steam engine turned out not to be the best kind of engine for an automobile. The water had to boil before the car could go. Next came an automobile with an electric engine. This automobile ran smoothly. It was also easy to operate, but it did not run well at high speeds, and it could not go for long distances. The battery had to be recharged every 50 miles. Then, in 1896, Henry Ford made an automobile that became very popular. It ran on gasoline and was called the Model T. Because it was so popular, Ford had to make a lot of them. In 1913, Ford came up with the idea of the assembly line. An assembly line is made up of many workers. Each worker does the same job every time. The automobile moves on a conveyor, and the worker adds his or her part. Then it moves to the next worker for the next part. Using the assembly line allowed Ford to produce millions of cars. Automobile plants still use assembly lines today. However, automobiles themselves have gone through many changes. The first Model Ts could go a little more than 30 miles per hour. Some cars today go well over 100 miles per hour. A Model T got about 10 miles to the gallon. Modern cars get about 25 miles to the gallon. Today's automobiles keep you warm in winter or keep you cool in summer. You can listen to the news as you drive. You can listen to your favorite songs or watch a favorite movie. If you get lost, an onboard computer will help you find your way home. All right, so we just finished reading our last story. So we're going to look at the questions. And I can see the key question up at the top says, how have things we use every day changed? But we're going to hold off on that till the very bottom where we're going to answer it. So I want to look at this timeline here. And I can see that the timeline is talking about the original and some of the improvements that were made and how things are today. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to look for those key words and things like that. So when I look here, I can see, I'm going to get my pen ready so I can make sure that I underline it. I can see it says the first automobile was built in France. It had 3 wheels and was powered by steam instead of gasoline. So I am going to underline, sorry that my line is so horrible. I'm going to underline that it says it had 3 wheels and it was powered by steam instead of gasoline. Now, obviously, on my questions, I can shorten that and I could maybe just say had 3 wheels or was powered by steam. But now I have what would go on original. Now, I want to look for improvement 1. So when I read, I can see that it said, this paragraph still talks a little bit more about that very first type of automobile. So I'm going to come to the next paragraph. And I do see it says next came an automobile with an electric engine. That seems like it would probably be the next improvement. So again, sorry for my horrible line. But I can see that it says next came an automobile with an electric engine. So I would probably write on this line right here, electric engine. Now I want to look for improvement too. So if I go here, obviously this paragraph is going to continue to talk about that automobile I just talked about. So I want to skip it. And I'm going to come down here. And I can see that it says, then in 1896, Henry Ford made an automobile that became very popular. It ran on gasoline. It was called the Model T. So that right there tells me that's probably what I want to look at. So I'm going to underline that part. It ran on gasoline and was called the Model T. So I would come back over here, and here I would have something that says steam powered or something along those lines. This one I would have an electric engine. This one I would have a gasoline engine. Now I want to look for improvement 3. So obviously I've read all of this page. I've kind of made my notes. That's what my underlining is. So I'm going to look at this page. And it says, in 1913, Ford came up with the idea of an assembly line. And it seems like that paragraph is all talking about an assembly line, which doesn't really tell me much about the automobile. So then I'm going to look at the next paragraph. And the next one says, automobile plants still use assembly lines today. However, automobiles themselves have gone through many changes. So that's kind of where I want to look. So I'm going to go to the next sentence. The first Model T could go a little more than 30 miles per hour. Some cars today go well over 100 miles an hour. That tells me that's an improvement too, that we can kind of underline all of these 2 sentences. And that tells me that maybe the next improvement I could write about is their speed. So maybe for improvement 3, I might write that they go faster, that the cars have gotten faster. And then for today's cars, I did see something, right here is where I saw it. This word right here, today's. So today's automobiles keep you warm in the winter or keep you cool in the summer. You can listen to the news as you drive. You can listen to your favorite songs or watch your favorite movie. So any of these things is something I bet you that I could write for today's vehicles. So that would be what I would include here. So I would include something along the lines of steam engine here, or 3 wheels. I would probably say something along the lines of an electric engine here, that this one is a gasoline engine, or maybe the Model T. And then this one, I would probably say something along the lines of they get faster. And then I would include any one of those many, many things that they talk about in that very last paragraph here. So now down at the bottom where it says, think about the key question. So this is where my key question up here is going to come in handy. So my key question was, how have things we use every day changed? So if I'm thinking about this passage, how have cars changed? So you could write something along the lines of, originally, cars were powered by steam, but now they run on gasoline. I could also write that originally cars were very slow, and now they can go over 100 miles an hour. I could write any of those different things. So thinking about details from the story and including them in this key question answer. So thinking about any of those details, and that's actually where this right here, this timeline can help you, because you're thinking about what kind of car was originally around and how has it changed. Okay, boys and girls, you have worked absolutely super hard these past couple months, and the second grade teachers are so proud of you. You guys are amazing, and you should be very, very proud of yourself. Have a wonderful summer, boys and girls.